How are we? I'm just checking. Yes, we're online. So amazing. Oh, okay. Thank you for joining me this morning. Wisdom Wednesdays. I really love them because it really is a beautiful thing to share our stories and to share where we're at, share where we've been, to share where we've come from and where we're going, and just connect back into that part. Um, so this week I wasn't very organized in regards to organizing somebody to come on here. So of course I wanted to obviously stay committed to the Wisdom Wednesdays, and that had to be me. So I thought, what can I bring to this beautiful group with some wisdom, and what story can I share with you all in regards to my own journey? And this week has been pretty incredible in regards to imperfections and having that highlighted in my face, which I've posted in here and I shared it, on my page and in different groups as well, in regarding to basically that part of us that is not perfect, and are we okay in showing up in that area of our life. So for me, for example, is my grammar, my spelling. It is not my forte whatsoever. However, I still show up, and I never did until I read this book, The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown. And this book was a lifesaver for me. It really was. It was like she was speaking to me. Like this was personally written for me. Um, you can't, this book was that unraveling of, once you start seeing it, you can't unsee. And it was, I don't know if anyone has read this book, but she starts off on it. She starts with talking about the shit list, and like just a little bit of a background on Brene. Like she's a researcher, so she gathers information, and she it's data, so she can understand patterns, and then she wrote a report on there. She's written books and like documents in regards to psychology around our human behavior, the patterns that we have. And when she was doing this particular research, like trying to cut it, just without reading the whole story, which I started reading it again this morning, she started doing the research, and she had this list. She had the do's and the don'ts. And she realized that when she started to write this list with her Sharpie, as she calls it, the do list, not none or much on there, was all the don'ts. So she realized that at that moment that she was living from a life on the shit list. And the shit list being, let me just find that part in the book. Oh my God, it was, and it was because this too, when I read this, actually, when I first read this, I didn't think I was living on the shit list. To be honest with you, I thought I was still living in, I was on the good list because I didn't want to have a look. I didn't really want to see my imperfections. And I remember someone saying to me, they said, do you think you have perfection issues? I'm like, no, I'm not perfect. I'm quite happy with things not being perfect. Nope, that was untrue. So so like the shit list being, like these are the do's, the do columns, with so the list had words like worthiness, rest, play, trust, faith, intuition, hope, authenticity, love, belonging, gratitude, creativity. And the don't list was dripping with words like perfection, numbing, certainty, exhaustion, self-sufficiency, being cool, fitting in, judgment, and scarcity. And I can tell you one thing, that the shit list has been my journey of working through the shit list. It just really has. That has been my journey, and it's incredible. Like it's incredible because once we can see our imperfections, and we can dance with them and accept them and love them. Just like when I was writing, I wrote this week, and I had a beautiful sister basically who said to me, not a sister, well, you know, like she commented on my post and she said, oh, you can't be an influencer because you can't use spell check. And I guess, you know, like back in these days, that would have rocked me. That would have made me shrink. And I can tell you one thing, you know, on my journey being online, it's not the first time somebody has written a comment like that. They've had to correct my spelling, you know, my theirs, or, you know, anything else that they can find wrong with it because it triggers something in them. And so it's not the first time that's happened, and I hell no, it will not be my last. So when that happened, I read it, I went, oh yeah, okay, I get it. Because what that does, and what I've learned from reading this book and working with Brené's books and her research, is realize that is a mirror. That wasn't for me, that was for her. And whether she takes that on or not, that's not up to me. But, you know, from my own journey with that, because that would have triggered me too, like, not so much spelling because I wouldn't have been able to see that, but you know, be other things that aren't perfect that triggers me, and I'm like, because I want it perfect, because imperfect means uncertainty, and uncertainty means I can't trust in myself, I can't trust in the universe, I can't trust in the unfolding. So for her, when she, you know, when she read that, it triggered that perfectionism, it triggered the uncertainty, it triggered all those emotions. And so instead of kind of giving her the finger, where, you know, a lot of people would have, and that's would have been definitely me, like, oh, piss off, you know, why, you know, just go away, don't, you know, why would you have to correct me there? Instead, I went, oh, you know what, I see her too, because that, you know, that's all part of me as well. Our imperfections are the stuff that has driven most of us for most of our lives. You know, when you think of where perfection strives from. You know, perfection strives from being a good girl, you know, at home growing up, going, oh, you're a good girl, well done, that's fantastic, good girl. No, that's a bad girl, bad behavior, not good. Be perfect, do your hair, dress nicely, polite, you know, speak nicely, don't swear, etiquette, you know, all this kind of stuff. All these masks start to go on, and we become this authentic. We don't become anything. We just become this friggin' robot of society, of a possession, you know, possession of our parents, to feel that they have a good behaved person. And that's, you know, there's elements of that are true, and there's elements of that aren't true for me. But, you know, there's this ingrained belief that perfection is the only thing that we need to do. And like when I look at schooling, you know, we're graded on our spelling, we're graded on our grammar, we're graded on our maths, our skills, our behavior, the way that we dress, you know, like they, you know, like there's on the school report, on my son's school report, there has been that presentation in regarding your shirt tucked in, your socks pulled up, you know. So this all is part of the driving force to be perfect. And if we're not perfect, it's vulnerable, it brings uncertainty. And I will go back into this book, because this is all the stuff that starts to unravel. It starts to unravel when we can see it, and when we realize that, you know, that this really brings back to that place that we're not living a life of wholeheartedness. We're not living a life of joy. We're not living a life of creativity. We're living a life of perfectionism, which creates so much dysfunction in all areas of our lives. And, you know, I was even talking about this morning with a girlfriend, you know, like how perfectionism is like that non-acceptance, because we've got this ideal of what, you know, particular things should look like, and if they don't look like that, it causes uncertainty. And when I look at the world that we're living in right now, there's so much uncertainty because it's not perfect, it's not fixed, it's not going to the plan of that we had, maybe, you know. And it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're sitting on, you know, like there's that rumble that things aren't perfect. It's not a perfect world anymore. Everything's reflecting back, and it's showing us the imperfections of ourselves, and those in charge, those all around us. And like perfection, it's the disconnect. It's the disconnect between us all. And if you're jumping on, say hi, because I'm just looking at the hey Jay, hey Selena, how are you, gorgeous peoples? Hey Olga, just having a look at who was online. But definitely this book, she goes through guideposts. So I'm just going to read them out and see if any of this syncs with you. And I'm just going to share a little bit of a story about my own imperfections, and how I guess I've been working through them to be able to, what she would say, let go of who we think we're supposed to be and embrace who we are. And most of us are on this journey. If you're in this group, you're in this journey, you're on this journey too. So guidepost number 1, cultivating authenticity, letting go of what people think. Bang. Guidepost number 2, cultivating self-compassion, letting go of perfectionism. Guidepost number 3, cultivating self-compassion. Oh, sorry, that's the same one. Guidepost number 3, cultivating resilient spirit, letting go of numbing and powerlessness. I have been a number, a massive number. So this really speaks to me and has spoken to me over the years, and still is. Like I still numb. There's elements of my life that are still numb. There's elements where I will, massively, and this is, Brene, brought this to my attention too. It's like I can numb the bad. Like when shit's going down, I want to grab a glass of wine, or or throw the food in my mouth to numb, like instantly numb it. I also do that when I'm celebrating. It's like I'm like so excited, I'm so joyful, and I'll still want to go and grab a glass of wine to take the edge off. Though it might be in a celebration, but it's still there. It's like both sides of the pendulum, isn't it? Like it's the pendulum of you. And she speaks about this. This is where I've learned a lot of this stuff. She speaks about you can only experience joy as much as you can feel into your darkness, like the bits that need to unravel. So it's the pendulum. So it is if I'm only going to there with my joy, I'm only going to go to there with my pain as well. So it's learning to kind of go, to be so joyful, and then be able to just sit in the shit at the same time, like as deeper crap to unravel, so you can then come back to the joy, like massive joy and gratitude, and living from that place of wholeheartedness. We can't have joy and just have pain. It doesn't work. It has to be the same. And it's something I've been cultivating, working with, and that's been my journey. It's like understanding, how far can I go deeper? How far can I how much joy can I cultivate in my life? And it's, it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. It just doesn't happen tonight. And like living in pain isn't living in joy either. Like you have to learn to cultivate. You have to learn the skills and mindset and heart work and embodiment of the crappy stuff as well. Like living in your pain can be circling and so disempowering. Like you become the victim of the pain, because that's where you get attention from. When you're in the pain, we get attention for it. If that is the cycle and that's a pattern that that you may have established, I've established, over the time. And, I go there too. There's that part of me that goes, the little girl goes, I want some attention. So, I'll sit in this little like sulky place waiting to get some attention, so I can go back to joy, because I haven't been able to build resilience to be able to, to nurture my own inner girl, my own little girl, to bring her out into the joyful place again. So it's all so much so much to unravel and embody, because we get it here. This is me speaking. I can get it here, and it takes a while, years to actually embody these practices. And I'm still embodying this. This is book 1 of hers, or I think it might be book 2. She wrote something else before this one, but this is, I'm still embodying all of this. And like reading this again, I'm like going, oh my gosh, yes, I have come a long way, but hell, there's still more to go. There's so much more to go. So guide post number 4, cultivating gratitude and joy, letting go of scarcity and fear of the dark. I think I just spoke to that, so I won't go anymore. Yes, Selena, I'm just reading the comments there. Yeah, yes, numbing. Yeah, me too. I think most of us do. I think we all have a vice. I've got, I use big drinker, smoked, food. So I don't smoke anymore. I don't drink like I used to, but I numb with food. So it's noticing, like I can see that, so I've got the awareness. So I need, I'm still working through the embodiment aspect of that. So bit by bit, and being kind and compassionate as I do this, because, I'm nearly 50 or 49. So I've been doing that for 49 years of my life. So it's not going to happen overnight. So, when she comes back to me and she speaks about cultivating self-compassion, that's part of it, like being kind to yourself as you're going through all this stuff. So guide post number 5, cultivating intuition and trusting faith, letting go of the need for certainty. Holy moly guacamole, like how is that so relevant to where we are right now? Like so relevant. And to be honest with you, that one there is this year. This is 2020. That's the embodiment. That's where embodiment has begun. Number 5 for me. So number 6, cultivating creativity, letting go of comparison. Hey, Groover, that has been my online journey. That has been the journey, because it's like, who's going to want to come and play in my group? Who am I to share my journey? Who am I to write? Who am I to try and be an influencer? I don't even try and be an influencer, because that's really not what I'm trying to do. I've had to let go of that. It's more of like, who can I'm sharing my journey online imperfectly. Like it's messy, it's not perfect. I've never been, I've never done this road before. It's like life. We can either take the same path over and over again, like Groundhog Day, or we can create something new and, venture into the wild, because that's kind of how it is. It's venturing into the wild of, we don't know what's ahead of us. We don't really know. So that's the uncertainty, like it's all interlinked. These are the guideposts. This is really awesome. Like, I tell you what, I just by reading this again, I just want to dive into this book and pick it to bits, and I'm going to do that. So if anyone wants to join me, let's do this together, because when I first read this book, also we did it together. We did it in a book club, and it's so powerful, because what I get out of it can be so different for what you'll get out of it. So there's a whole different perception on it. So maybe we can do a weekly online book club. Let's do that. I'm really excited. I want to do this again. I think these guideposts are so important right now, like so important. So that was talking about creativity and letting go of comparison. So yes, comparison being huge. Again, we are taught this back at school. We are taught this in our families. We are compared to our brothers and sisters. Well, she's not doing that. She's better than that. And, we're graded, like we are graded, your peers, we're graded against each other. To compare, we're competing, the competition. So this is the unraveling, this is the letting go, this is the cultivating back to embracing who the fucking hell we are, not who we think we should be or how society thinks we should be. I'm getting so excited. I just love this book. Guidepost number, where are we? Number 7, cultivating play and rest, letting go of exhaustion as a status symbol and productivity as self-worth. Yes. Oh my God. In the days in a society that celebrates, I'm busy. I'm busy. Oh, what are you up to? I'm just busy. And fill their calendars up, back to back, to feel important, to feel worthy in the world because I'm popular, I'm needed, I'm required. I'm just busy. I'm just busy. So what have you been up to? Oh, just so busy. I bet you're busy too. Are you busy? I'm just so busy. I'm just so busy. Like that is where this is what society freaking loves, And I remember having a conversation. I remember I was at a school function, and a dad came up to me and I said, oh, how you been? He goes, oh, just busy. I bet you are busy too. You're busy. I bet you're busy too. And like, he put the words in my mouth and I'm like, fuck, no. I went, no, I'm not actually. I'm not busy at all. I'm just, flowing. And he had no idea how to respond to me. No idea whatsoever. He was like, oh, well, like you are? You're not busy? Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? So it's like, that there is something we need to cultivate, uncultivate. We need to be able to be okay in not being freaking busy. That, our worth is not attached to how much shit's in your diary. Like, really? People who are back to back with shit in their diary, I feel for them because I feel where a lot of that comes from. I feel it too because me too. I used to be that person. I had to have stuff on every weekend. I had to feel really busy. I had to, feel worthy. I only felt worth when I was busy. So I get it. I have compassion. I see myself still when this happens. Like I don't think it just happens. Unhappens. There's defaults. These are core default things that we fall back into really quickly. But I tell you what, that's something I'm really frigging good at now. I'm really good at, and I'm patting myself on the back for that because that was huge for me. Guidepost number 8: cultivating calm and stillness, letting go of anxiety as a lifetime. I think that just kind of backs number 7, don't you think? Like that's the embodiment. That's the embodiment of number 7, I feel. Comment. Let me know if any of this shit is landing with you. Let me know. Share. Tag somebody in here. Invite them into the group. That someone might need to hear this or wants to come and read this book with me this month. Guidepost number 9: cultivating meaningful work, letting go of self-doubt and supposed to. And this is what I'm feeling like this group is for me. It is letting go of the self-doubt, and what it's supposed to look like, and the comparison to what maybe somebody else might be doing in the social media field, or what their vision and impact looks like, and just doing it anyway. Like when I look at my midlife unraveling, and these are words like Ray talks about that's where I got that word from. It's not a crisis, it's an unraveling. And I really feel like this doesn't happen at 40. It happened for me at 40, but it can happen at 30 because people start to wake up, and that rumble inside that they can't keep going on with who they think they are. Like they have to let go of that, and that's the unraveling. And often this happens, around that time, like marriages and divorce and becoming a parent. This is all part of it. Moving, an empty nest happens then, when their kids leave home, because all their worth, like as a mother, all their worth can be so tied to being a mother and being the good mother and being, all this thing as a mother. And all of a sudden the kids grow up and they move on and they don't need you. They don't need you anymore. So your worth, like, who the fuck am I now? So this is one of these things. Retiring, same, like how many people do you know retire and they lose themselves? They, I know somebody personally who, close to me, who lost himself completely when he retired. Lost the plot when he retired. And because again, we have so much stuff tied up in who we think we are. And all of a sudden you have to be with you. You know, it's not the titles, it's not the job, you're not the busyness anymore. Like all that starts to drop away and we're stuck with us. We're looking in the mirror of just who we're like, hi Sharon, like, who are you? You're not that person, you're not those titles anymore. And it all starts to unravel. So that, you know, coming back to like, this is why I created this group, because midlife is an unraveling. But with that, we can make massive changes because we start to look at all of this stuff, and from that, and we start to build this massive resilience within, and we start to tackle all that stuff that we've carried, and we can bring, good morning, my son, and we can bring this beautiful thing to the world, us, the authentic self, from a place of compassion for others, and we can help lead and guide, and not lead, but we can be the leaders that people are seeking. We can be those heart leaders. And like Brené's written massive books on all of that, because that's been her journey too. You know, we can lead in a different way. We can lead with our hearts. We can lead with authenticity, you know, once we know how that is, what that looks like. And because we're still letting go of who we think we are, you know, it doesn't happen overnight. Let's have compassion as we work through that, and compassion for others as we're seeing them go through that. So being the change maker, we become that change. We become the leader. We become the parent that our kids actually really need, not who they think they need, or who we think we should need to be. And it's all learning. It's not fucking perfect. No way in the world. Yeah, Selena's has said, sorry, I'm looking down because my phone's down here. We need to learn to let ourselves just be, like, 100%. And, you know, another, you know, one of my mentors that I follow is Gabby, and she has her saying, be, do, have. And I was like, oh my God. Be, do, have. But in our society, we do it the opposite way. We have to have. When we have this, and when we have, you know, all the things, or we have, you know, be, do, have. Yeah, be, do, have. So when we have all the things, and when we have that status, and we have that perfect figure and that perfect life, then we can then we'll be able to do all these things that we're wanting to do, and then I'll be able to just be myself. But in fact, it's the other way around. It's that when we show up authentically and be ourselves, we get to do life from that place, from that authentic place. And then the haves just come. And that has been my flip. That has been my journey too. Still learning, still embodying, still showing up. From a being place, not a having place these days. So, okay, this is a long life. This is epic. I'm just saying, it's pretty good today. I'm loving this. Okay, guidepost number 10, the last one. Cultivating laughter, song, and dance, letting go of being cool and always in control. Hey. Hell yes, I can't. Yeah, control. Again, I was talking to my walking buddy this morning, and we were talking about the control, you know, and I feel women definitely have more control DNA in them. No, all men do in a way. We control more manipulating. We control by tantruming. We can control by controlling and wanting to change people, our partners particularly. I have 100% have. I have played a huge part in our relationship in regarding to not accepting and not loving my husband for who he is, and wanting to change it. I think a lot of women do. I think that we think they're kind of like stray dogs, and we bring them in, and we're gonna train them like a puppy, you know, and then we take on this big mantra, you know, we become martyrs in the whole thing, and blah 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 blah. But anyway, I'm gonna probably sign off here, but I want to again invite you, if you want to come along and read this with me. Like, I think just I'll put some more details in regards to that, but I think if we do a guidepost a week, that we can start to learn to embody that. I think that is going to be really, really helpful. So I'll put a post in here later on today. And let's play. Like, let's play. I'd love to grab a copy. Grab a copy. I'm not going to start next week. I'll give everybody time for their book to arrive. Totally recommend. Actually, it's funny. I'm looking through this, and I thought I would have. I don't even know if you can see that. I would have highlighted it a lot more in this book. I think I need to do a lot more highlighting. So I'm going to do a read along. Probably start in about 10 days time, maybe on a Wednesday. I think too. We might just maybe even tie that in with Wisdom Wednesday. You know, let's do that. Let's do that. Wisdom Wednesdays for the next 10 weeks will be based around the guideposts of this book. And if somebody has a topic or a story that they want to share, let's do that. I'm going to invite those people, invite you on here to share the guideposts, and let's do that, because this is the real work. This is fundamental for change. This is fundamental for a warrior to be ignited into this world. This is such a beautiful book to read right now in the uncertain times that, you know, that we kind of all feel at the moment. And you may not be feeling it today, but it may come back later on. I don't know. But even by you reading this and talking about this to your friends and family may support them in their own uncertainty. So if you have a friend, invite them to join us as we read along, and I'll put some more details up later. So thank you so much. Hey Nat, how are you? Gorgeous. Just got on now. Yeah, go and watch the replay. Come and join us for the read along. I'd love to have you do this with us. And I'll keep it. I think if we keep it like down to a half an hour, I don't even know how long this one's been going, this chat, but I think we can do it within a half an hour, because I think time is very valuable. We don't want to be too busy, but we want to be able to cultivate enough love in the container so we can support each other to embody the guideposts. So with that, I'm signing off. So much love. Thank you for joining me. If you're on the replay, let us know. Chat soon. So much love. Bye.